Welcome back, and we are moving into our final conversation for today, where we find out more about an NGO called BackPacks for Kids International. We have with us on set Myrtle Carter, who is the vice president of the organization. We have Kyla Sherman, who is the technical assistant, and we have founder and president Carla Sherman. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
So let's just start off by finding out a bit more about your motivations behind forming this organization.
Okay. Going to New Jersey when I was a teenager. I left here when I was a teenager, so over 30-something years ago, without telling my age.
Yeah.
I found a family that I was working for, and they paid for my college. Went to college and didn't have to pay a penny, and I thought that was amazing. So I always had this thought behind my head how to repay that. And after I had my baby here, we came here when she was like 3 years old, and I saw these kids, and I was like, you know, maybe I would like to start like something like a backpack drive. And I didn't do anything about it until 4 years ago. It originally started, and so I formed a company called BackPacks for Kids, and this is my third trip here. And this is my first time my daughter coming to help out, and hopefully we can really do something with it and help a lot of kids here in Belize.
You know, a lot of times people, when they move away from Belize at a young age, or even if they grow up in another country, and their family keeps reconnecting with them, they all want to give back. I find that so common from the diaspora. People always talk about wanting to give back, but it's like you said, I think it takes a bit of time, it takes a bit of added motivation, and it takes a little bit of understanding where the needs are.
Right.
What would you say was the final catalyst for you to go from the idea to execution?
After I had her,
Yeah.
I was like, I need to do something about it, because I had the thought in my head for a long time, and then I finally decided I have to do something more than just think about it.
Yeah.
So I went and I formed a company, and this year we got our nonprofit status, so which gives me the authorization to even get more donations, and hopefully we can really do something from here.
Fantastic.
So.
Now, let's bring it over to Myrtle and tell us about why you got involved.
Okay, I got involved to my niece, Carla. You know, she's my niece. And when I came to Belize, you know, I am from Belize also. Came here 10 years ago, and I see the poverty. You know, I didn't see it when you were living in it.
Yeah.
You know, but when you come back, it was like, whoa, you know. And I said, you know, I'd like to join her. I told her, you know, I'll join her. This is my first year joining her. And when I came back, I was like, wow, you know, even when we were giving out the backpack in Corozal, there was family coming up to a single mother with 4 kids, and they couldn't send their kid to school because they have no school supply and no uniform. You know, she told me she went to the government, and the government told her that they can't help her.
Yeah.
So we give them backpack, you know, and school supplies and stuff, you know, but the needs is great.
Yeah.
I notice, especially in the villages of Corozal and Orange Walk, you know, and I'm also in Belize also. We haven't started to do anything in Belize yet, but we did in the district and in the villages, you know, but she breaks my heart when she told me that she has 4 kids. She doesn't have a husband.
Yeah.
And, you know, she couldn't send her kid to school for the first day of school, which was devastating to me. And, you know, I just like to do something and give back to the people of Belize and also the districts.
Yeah. We're going to talk a bit about the distribution, but I want to bring Kyla into the conversation and talk about your role in BackPacks for Kids International.
Oh, well, she took me on the first trip here, so this is my first time actually to get into it more. So I just take pictures of all the stuff that's going on, and then I put them on our website, and you know, keep uploading and updating our stuff that we're doing on social media.
Yeah. Now, obviously, when your mom gets to work with the organization and in soliciting funds for the backpacks and researching where you're going to go and where you'll distribute, I'm sure you were involved in that. Now, what is it like for you to be able to have this discovery process of your Belizean roots?
I mean, it's pretty interesting. I never knew much about it until I came here.
Mm-hmm.
I learned like new stuff, like not to wear a seatbelt in a car. I didn't know that because in America, I'm always strapping it on. And they tell you, no, don't put your seatbelt on. And I'm like,
yeah, well, we're trying to move towards wearing your seatbelts. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's interesting stuff around here about
Yeah.
cultures.
And what's been other than the seatbelt? What's been an eye-opening experience for you?
Seeing like the kids, like, well, the most like thing that made my heart feel good inside was watching the kids take the backpacks away and they run away smiling and go to their friends and hug each other and like all open it and see what's inside and they smile and jump up and down.
Yeah.
So that made me feel really good and opened my eyes to see what we're doing.
Yeah. And how grateful they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, why backpacks?
Well, we're starting with backpacks because it's more than just a backpack.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a huge need that has a lot of categories. I just discovered in this trip that some students even have to take their chairs and desk, which I was totally blown by that. I was like, what? I mean, you have to take your chair and your table? That seems so crazy. I've never heard such a thing. So that even have me thinking there's even more of a need than originally thought.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we're starting with backpacks. I would like to do something more than providing backpacks because that's an endless task. I mean, there's always going to be kids that need a backpack. I think I would like to start discovering kids' talents and helping them to become an entrepreneur because I think Belize have a lot of stuff to offer. We have a lot of natural stuff that they can make stuff or whatever. I mean, there's so many ways to go and the kids, I mean, who knows, with internet and all that stuff you can learn something to do and I think the opportunities to become an entrepreneur is huge. I mean, especially everybody wants natural stuff now. Nobody wants the cans and the bottles and we're trying to steer away from that. So I think, and I think you can't underestimate a kid. I mean, they have everything they need to become somebody, or to be leaders, or to become something than just a worker or nothing. I mean, I think we as adults have to encourage and steer them in a different direction and give them opportunities. There's not a lot of opportunities for kids, and I think if we start opening that door and helping them in that avenue.
So you see the backpack drive as just the
Something
beginning.
to start to push me
it's
out
your
the door.
starting
Right.
point.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Now, which areas did you identify to provide the assistance to?
Well, I decided to go to the rural areas because I've read some statistics and it seems like most donation comes to the city, which I don't think the city in itself doesn't need help. I think everybody needs help, Belize country as a whole, but the outskirts, people tend to forget about them.
Yeah.
So this is where I want to put my concentration on and go in there. So that's where
Into more of the rural areas.
Yeah.
So where did you actually go to distribute the backpacks? You said you went to 3 schools
yes,
yesterday?
we went to 3 schools
Tell us.
yesterday. So you want to tell them, Kyla?
Yeah, because you remember more than us.
It was in Corozal, you said, right?
The Nazarene,
Yeah.
the Nazarene school in Corozal.
Yep.
That was the first one we went to.
Yeah.
And we gave everybody there a backpack. And then the second school,
San Pablo RS.
RC.
Okay.
RC.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the third one we went to was Carmelita.
Okay, good. Now we can obviously see all the kids are smiling. They're happy to get their backpacks. What was the interaction like for you guys? And I want you to tell me, Myrtle. Obviously, being able to see them happy with their backpacks was a part of your intention, but you get to interact with them on a personal level as well.
Right, and we meet some cute little ones. You know, they were very, friendly. You know, they were glad. They were looking through the window. You know, when we're going to be starting. We had to rent a van, of course. You know, to put in all the supplies and stuff. And when we got to the school, you know, the kids were so excited. I mean, we were passing by the classroom and they were looking at us, and I was like, you know, where are they coming from, you know?
Yeah.
And they also, when they see us like unload the backpack, you know, they were like, ooh, you know, they were like smiling, looking through the window. I would say we're disrupting the class here, you know, because, you know, they're actually were so enthusiastic about all the stuff that we were doing. So as Carla mentioned, this is just the beginning, you know, because I'm a nurse. I want to come in and do some more, you know. So it was really excited to see the kids and to bond with them, you know, some of the kids. It was really great.
So, Kyla, did you pick up some Creole along the way? Yeah? What'd you learn?
Dry head.
Really? That's what they taught you? Oh, that's funny. Now, you're obviously a young organization, and like I said, I think it's a great initiative when we hear of people within the diaspora who are trying to find opportunities to give back, and not necessarily deciding where the need is, but coming and looking and moving from there. So what are some of the observations you have made where you think you can make an impact? You mentioned your nursing skills, and you also mentioned that you have seen other needs. So where would you see this organization going?
Well, I would like to, I mean, this is just thoughts that we've been throwing across with our board members about maybe doing more of a talent show, so having these kids coming forward with their talents, because I'm sure everybody has a talent, and we would like to see it, and we would like to have a contest and maybe help them to form something, I mean, the ideas they have into something, and maybe take it to market or something, get supporters to help them, and maybe we can, you know, give these kids a little bit of a hope and maybe some kind of direction as where they want to take their lives, or there's opportunities everywhere. I mean, they just need to a place to put it or to get more centered. So I think maybe we would do something along that direction.
Yeah.
I would like to do some screening, you know, because a lot of people doesn't have transportation to get to a doctor, you know, stuff, you know, blood pressure, you know, different screening for them, because and education too, because a lot of people, you know, they don't know about all the sugar they're consuming, and you know, it could lead to diabetes and different illnesses, you know. So it's you know, people are doing things that I see. You know, for example, we bought some juice, you know, orange juice or melon juice or something, but when I drink it, I could taste the amount of sugar that's in there, even though the bottlers are not labeled like they are in the States.
Yeah.
Like how many sugar
How much sugar
content
they put in
is in that juice that they're drinking. But people don't know that, you know, so they need a lot of education in regards to that, pertaining to their health, you know, to keep themselves healthy.
Now, who are your biggest supporters back home for you? Is it people from the diaspora, or have you reached out to your own contacts?
Well, we've been trying to reach out to Belizean people in the States, and but we got one of the biggest supporters from my aunt's Myrtle's church. So we're going to reach out to churches, and we're going to want to concentrate on schools, because getting the kids involved in helping other kids, I think, is a big incentive. So we're going to concentrate on that this year, now that we got our 501c in place, and so now we can explore donations from other places that we couldn't really go into without having that. So maybe next year would be a big year for us. Hopefully, that's what we're trying to put our things in place, and hopefully next year is really a big one. We'll see.
And what's your biggest takeaway from this experience?
For me? Well, I like the idea of helping. The idea of helping kids. Kids are our future, and I see that about 60% or more of the population in Belize are school kids. That's huge. That's amazing. So which means that we need to start thinking about them. We have to start putting water on these plants to make them grow into something big and fruitful, or else it really could destroy the country. It starts there. We have to give them something. We just can't just let them become nothing. because I see Belize has a lot of opportunities. The foreigners are coming here and they're recognizing it and they're buying it. And we have to educate our kids that, you know, you have something here and you should be an owner, you should be this, you should be that. Don't let somebody come and buy it for cheap or whatever, and you know, you become a worker on your land that you had your family owned for years, and that's what's happening now. I mean, we have to try to hold back something and tell our kids that this land is something great, and don't be, you know, selling it for cheap.
Yeah. And your biggest takeaway?
Actually, well, I mean, it felt good just to see the kids smile. So, you know, it makes me feel like I can do something.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think the poverty level, you know, there's so much poverty here that they really need a lot of help, you know. So I had seen that, and as I said before, you know, they need to be educated, you know, so that, you know, they could keep more healthier,
Yeah.
live more healthier lives.
Well, ladies, you've spoken of your commitment on live TV in Belize, so we look forward
really?
to seeing you back next year.
Absolutely.
But we appreciate you stopping in and telling us about your efforts. And obviously, as I mentioned earlier in the segment, it's wonderful when you have an idea and you actually bring it to fruition and you get to experience the joy that comes from it as well.
Right.
I'm sure the kids and the parents are very appreciative, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. We are going to go ahead now and take our final break. And when we come back, we'll have our wrap up. So stay tuned.